Hey everyone, Donald J. Brower here with the Near Fall podcast for GardenStateHSWrestling.com. We're getting close to the end of the season. We just finished up pretty much the bulk of the county tournaments. End of the month, we're going to be turning here to the sectionals, the groups, and then the individual tournament. Before you know it, we're going to be crowning people in Atlantic City. But before we get to the end, we got to start at the beginning. I've got to thank the people who got us here and are helping me bring this to you today. First, Dan Warnikoff, Champion Athletes. We've mentioned it before. I'll say it again. Your body is your vehicle. You can go train, you can make it look nice, but you need the fuel. Dan will help you do that. Champion Athletes, go check him out. He's a big proponent of what we do. He will help you. If you're an athlete, you're not an athlete. You're old, you're young. Dan will help you get to where you need to be healthy. The Apex Wrestling School, founded in 2002 by New Jersey legend Damian Logan and his roommate and teammate at Michigan, Dane Tabano. Big supporters of what we've done. They're new this year, but they've been great supporters of high school wrestling in the area. 4 locations in New Jersey, 1 in New York. Apex Wrestling is on the way up. And the Harrington companies. Whether it's recycling, demolition, or landscaping, you want to destroy your house, you want to make it look nice, the Harrington companies are the ones that will help you do that. So give them a call if you need anything there. Now, interesting week this week because, as I said, we had some county tournaments. We had the PCT last week. On Saturday, we had the results there. We have the live stream up and everything we did there. We got out to a couple matches, but the Morris County tournament was this Saturday. So not a lot of action past Wednesday in Morris because they had the seating meeting Thursday, first day, Friday, second day, Saturday. We did get out to a few matches, though, on the site. So there was the big kind of theme for this week was there seemed to be a chase to get those 10 matches for a lot of these top 10 teams, especially the non-public teams, the parochials. Because for anybody who doesn't know, and I'm sure you do, but I'll explain anyway, you have to have 10 in-state bouts to qualify for the sectional tournament. And the deadline was Saturday, so you had to have those 10 in. Snow kind of, snow, rain, and stuff like that kind of maneuvered some teams around. And so there were teams that were scrambling. I know St. Joe's Montville, who we used to cover at Region 1, we're not going to be able to this year because they've moved regions. They actually wrestled 2 matches at 2 different locations on the same day. One at 4 o'clock, one at 7:30. I mean, it was crazy trying to get those dates in. And I know Del Barton squeezed in a try with Newark Academy and Eastside, Newark Eastside, and they wrestled United Summit Chatham on Thursday to get their stuff in. So everybody was scrambling. One team that didn't need to do that, who's in the top 10, was one of the matches we got a chance to cover, and you can go look at our YouTube channel and follow up on that. We made the call. Phillipsburg at Del Val. I've always kind of, in my rankings, wondered where Del Val, Phillipsburg, and Hunterdon Central ranked. I knew Phillipsburg was the number one. I know they had beaten Hunterdon Central handily a couple weeks ago before the HWS, and then Hunterdon Central won the HWS. I wanted to see where Del Val is. Favorite to win Group 1, obviously, but they come in there. They actually had a game plan that I saw play out on the mat where they wanted to limit the bonus points, and it worked really well. However, it's just they couldn't overcome it in the end, and they wound up, losing 39-22. I know there was, some anger on the side of Del Val. They had their game plan, they just couldn't execute it. But great matchup. You can watch the replay on the site, as I said, on our YouTube channel. Then we go to the next day. A couple matchups, that were caught my eye was that same Del Val team rebounded, and 24 hours later went and beat a game Hunterdon Central team 34-28. So that makes it even a little more confusing. That's a big debate amongst the New Jersey Wrestling Writers Association, how everything falls through. And then another match that I just kind of caught my eye is, we talked about it last week, Brandon Dean. And he was, a state medalist. He leaves the team. He's now in Colorado. They're at the Olympic Training Center out in Colorado. He's going to be out there. His team, since he's left, has been 6-1, which is kind of the opposite. So, I know it's tough for them to lose a kid of that quality, but for them to rebound and beat a lot of really good squads to go 6-1 is great. And, one of those squads was Morris Hills, who always is tough. So, Coach Merrill's got the team rolling now as we're getting ready to head up, as I said, for the sectionals coming forward and heading into the MCT, which will be covered this weekend. So a couple other matchups on Friday, the night before. We actually had our team split up. So James Clark broadcast the match from Sparta, where Kittatinny just showed how good they are. They beat Sparta 52-17. My number 5 and number 6 team. It makes me actually think maybe I might have to move Kittatinny up, depending on how it goes with, a Sparta and along those lines. But, or with the Pope John, excuse me. So it'll be interesting to see. But Kittatinny did really, really well and kind of showed that where they're at. And they should meet a Del Val in the Group 1 finals if everything falls through. Another really good matchup I was at Clifton. PCTI came in there and actually won the Liberty division. They beat Clifton 38-31. It was 32-31 going into the final bout, and they wind up pinning. We actually got an interview with the young man who pinned for PCTI to help clinch the win for them. Nolasco is his name, Robin Nolasco. A really, really great matchup. It was good to see Clifton rebound because they got pretty much embarrassed a couple weeks ago in the big North duels against PCTI. They seemed to come out flat. They lost by 20. So for them to rebound and make it close was a good thing. Another score. It's going to sound weird that I say this score, but I'll give you a little history afterwards. Passaic Valley beat Fairlawn 66-12. Okay. Why is that important? Now, 66-12, it helped Passaic Valley clinch the conference title for their conference. Okay, understandable. That was the 700th win in the program's history. The program started in 1962 by the first head coach was Dave McMahon. There's only 6 head coaches in the program's history. 5 of them were in the building for this. So really great history-making moment. And, Passaic Valley, has been on a run, especially lately. And, they'll tell you 700 wins is no joke. When you get it to that level, there's some really good teams, and that's some rarefied air. So congratulations to Coach Wassel and the rest of his team. Big, big win for them. So then we turned the page to the next day. There was some other action going on. Everybody's there. The biggest thing for our area and what we're doing, the Morris County tournament. We were out there. We had the whole crew out there. We debuted our nice little multicam setup where we could switch and get great shots. And I mean, the level we're taking the coverage this year of our stuff is through the roof. We were talking about it, Coach Baig and I, who actually did our first ever live stream at the Morris County tournament 10 years ago, even though in our 11th they didn't have one for COVID, but he was on the call with me, and it was literally a one camera shot from high up on top of the bleachers. And now we have headsets, we have monitor cameras, we have multicams, we have crew. I mean, it's been going exponentially. Before I get into the Morris County tournament with the results, thank you to everybody who came up to me and said they enjoyed my work. They love what we do. They subscribed on YouTube, gave me little tidbits about different people in the finals. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate the kind words. I know I'm always running around and, we expanded, to where we are now, with covering Hunterdon Warren Sussex matches, which we didn't do in the beginning, and now in Passaic and Essex and all the stuff we're going on. I always started in Morris, and Morris has always been kind of my, center part. So, because I grew up in the county, I know about the county. So, I always have a love for Morris County. So it was really nice to get out there and kind of, set it up. The one thing I wasn't a fan of, I didn't like the new format this year. It seemed kind of rushed. Like, I understand we got out there a little early, but to me, when you do the county tournaments like that, you have to break down the one mat. It's only fair. Some of these kids, sure, the kid's going to win a county title. He may not make it to regions or states or down there. Give them their moment. I mean, go back to that. It's not that hard. It's literally adding a little bit to it. It's not that big of an issue. They also got to figure out how, when they're calling semifinal matches. Last couple of years, it used to be like a mat 3 was semis, the other one's wrestlebacks. They were throwing them out there. It was a little confusing with how everything was done, but I'm sure, you always want to try something. I'm not sure how well it worked. I'm sure there'll be discussions, but you want to try, you want to get the word out there, but I'd prefer to go back to the old format personally. That's just myself. I don't know if I listen. I'm the lowest man on the totem pole when it comes to poll, so I don't know if my voice is going to be mentioned, but I just prefer it that way. And I think that'll be more fun that way. But I understand if they decide not to go back. But if they're not going to go back, then you should just do it in one day. Because I mean, you're really realistically, Friday night you're getting, the preliminary rounds, and then you're getting the first round, and it's usually a lot of the top seeds are advancing anyway, so you can condense that and make it all set up. But I'll leave that to the higher ups and the people who make those decisions. I'm not one of them. I just get to critique. So talk about the Morris County tournament. As we said on our preview last week, Del Barton 15th straight. This honestly, I think, was one of the most dominant performances by Del Barton in that 15-year streak, because they had 11 champions. That's insane. As far as I could tell from the research going all the way back and even before, the most they've ever had is 7. So they had 11 champions. That's remarkable. So congratulations to them. And, when you look, obviously the race for a lot of teams was who's the top public school team in the tournament. My predictions were, when I made my predictions, and I have, you'll have, by the time you see this, you'll have my how did I do. I think I might already posted it, but it'll be up there for sure by the time this posts. I picked Del Barton to win, obviously. I had Mount Olive number 2, which Mount Olive finished second by a handy margin. So they finished second by 80 points. So they were right there. I originally had West Morris finishing third, but Jefferson finished third. And I think that's impressive because Jefferson, is one of those that had some quality wrestlers make it to the finals, but they get those other kids that advance and get the placement into the medal rounds. That's how you win these type of tournaments. It shows you're a complete team. It's not just those studs that make it. So Jefferson was third. West Morris was fourth. Par Hills, and I said this on the live stream. I said this numerous times. The fact that Par Hills had a finalist in McGinty, who's been there before, but finished this high, that's a great job by Coach Wells. This program was on its last legs 6 years ago. They could barely get kids out. It was tough. They weren't winning a lot of matches. He's got that team on the come up, and they have the youth program and the feeder program. That's a team you want to watch out for. And you're looking at some of these teams, it's always really good with how it is, because Hanover Park finished 6th, Morris Hills, Morristown, another one, on the back of Jack Myers, honestly, who won it at 132. And we'll talk about Jack in a few minutes in regards to exactly what with how he finished and everything what he did. But Jack did a great job wrestling there. As we said, the other ones we had were a couple really good matches, but the one thing I really liked was just the competition. I'll say it here. I'll say it every time somebody asks me. Morris County is a tough tournament to win. You go out there and, you wrestle some guys that, you want to talk about, we've had it before where the top 3 of all medal. So, you're talking about guys who, are out there doing what they need to do and getting everything done. So, that to me is always the fun of this tournament, and seeing the people and bringing them out and doing everything they need to do, with what they were doing, getting everything set up and, wrestling that way and, having everything to do. And it was 144. I apologize. Jack Myers was 132 last year. So it was 144 champion this year. That was my mistake on that. But, he actually won the OW, and congratulations to Jack. I had somebody else's OW, and so for the first time in a while, this is going to kind of be, I don't know if we've done it. We've done it in the past. I don't know if I've ever given my wrestler of the week to 2 wrestlers on the same team. I've had co-wrestlers of the week before, but this might be a first. So 2 guys who had very impressive tournaments to me. First, at 113, Mount Olive's Tyeler Hagensen, 25-4 in a season, but he won the 113 title and captured his 100th win. And I said before, you get 100 wins, you're going to be my wrestler of the week. Now, also, what's more impressive is Hagensen's freshman year was the COVID year, and he also was injured last year. So for him to rebound off of that and get 100 wins, that shows you just how good of a wrestler he really is. And I'm not so sure, a wrestler who's medaled in the States is overlooked, but I feel he gets overshadowed a little bit in the area. And I think you're going to look back and realize just how good he really was. And the other co-wrestler of the week, who I personally voted for, and I said on the podcast or the live stream, I thought should have been OW, his teammate at 190, Tyler Bienus. He winds up beating Vincenzo Laval from Hanover Park, a two-time third place state medalist at 190. He goes to 25-3. Bienus is like unbelievable the way he controlled that match. It's not like he beat him late. He controlled that entire match and held on and did what he did. I thought he should have been the rest of the week, but I have no disrespect to Jack Myers. That's who they voted for, and I could see that as well. I just thought Bienus, who beating the Caliber Kid Laval, I just thought that would be. But congratulations to everybody there, and congratulations Tyeler and Tyeler. Tyeler and Tyeler. It sounds like a law firm, but you're my co-wrestlers of the week. Now, the rankings. We didn't really have too much of a shakeup in the rankings. Nothing crazy. When you look at Morris, for example, we didn't have a ton of action, but I still got Butler at 10, Morris Knowles at 9, Roxbury at 8, Montville at 7, Morris Hills at 6, Jefferson at 5, West Morris at 4, Hanover Park at 3, Mount Olive at 2, Del Barton at 1. As I said, there's kind of an internal debate between me about moving Jefferson and West Morris, swapping them. I didn't do that this week, but we'll see what happens, obviously, next week and how it goes. I think if I remember correctly, they had a dual meet that was one of the ones that was rained out. So that would have made it so much easier on me. But then we're going to let's head to HWS. Voorhees is 10. North Hunterdon is 9. Warren Hills is 8. I got High Point at 7. Sparta at 6. Kittatinny at 5. Pope John at 4. I could have switched those two. I kind of want to see how Pope John rebounds. It may, in my last rankings, wind up switching like that, but we'll see. But for now, they're 4. I got Hunterdon Central at 3, Del Val at 2, Peaburg at 1. Now, the debate is with a couple of the writers is how they think Hunterdon Central might be a little bit better. Del Val, you beat them on the mat, you go ahead of them. That's just how I work at it. It doesn't matter who's in, who's out. You beat them, unless it's a situation like last year, if everybody remembers, when Montville beat Del Barton, but Del Barton had brought everybody to Oklahoma, so it was in name only. That's an extenuating circumstance. So I go with what I have there. And then for Passaic, I got Hawthorne at 10, Wayne Valley at 9, DePaul at 8, Pompton Lakes at 7, West Milford at 6, Wayne Hills at 5, Lakeland at 4, Passaic Valley at 3, Clifton at 2, PCTI at 1. So that's kind of how it's shaken out there. Obviously we'll see how everybody goes, with some results. I know some stuff was switched around, with how they had everything and how, basically they had with their matchups, how, people are going to kind of be doing some matches this week, but it's going to be makeup for a lot of the weather. It's going to be, trying to figure out where, everybody falls in regards to the upcoming section. And then, we'll see how everybody kind of who wrestles who and who wrestles what, as far as that goes. So it'll be interesting to see. And, we'll see how everything kind of breaks down. But, excuse me, I misread that. DePaul is number 9, Wayne Valley's number 8. So that's a switch. I had a little dyslexia there for a minute. Sorry, but I just realized that I was like, wait a minute, I said that wrong. So that'll be there. Now, we were talking about this week and kind of what we're doing for our live stream coverage. The only thing we have on tap right now, we're working with some schools. We were originally going to do Clifton at the Paul Monday. That actually wound up being a part of a quad on Saturday. So to make it easier, I think they're expecting a little snow or some stuff this week early on. They didn't want to have to postpone it. They had it there. So kind of clears up our early part of the week. But Wednesday, we are at the annual Mendham at West Morris match. So we'll be live streaming that. Myself and James Clark will be on the call. It'll be on our socials. We'll announce it when we go up with that. We're working on picking up something for Thursday and Friday. We'll see. I might, because of how we're going to be doing with the team sectionals, I might give my team the weekend off just to get ready, because how sectionals breaks down and what we're going to be doing. I know we're going to be announcing some stuff too after the sectionals in regards to how many districts we're covering. The plan right now, we're working on the details, but the plan right now is for us to cover at least one district in region 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to try to be out at 3, if not more, giving you live wrestling action from the districts. And then, of course, our plan right now is to have region 1 covered again. We've already been told that the school's cool with it at West Milford. We've got to wait and make sure with the state and how their coverage is going to go with that. We'll know that soon, because I think they're going to be releasing the brackets here in the next couple of days for the team sectional. So we'll kind of get a better idea once we get that out there. Now, before we go, as I said, we were talking about the MCT. But I want to thank Colleen Souffle, the athletic director, her secretary Katie, all the staff at Mount Olive, Coach Smythe, Coach Romano, Coach Barchetto, Dave Doty, everybody who helped us make a success with what we did. Thank you for allowing me to come and cover at your school. I really appreciate you guys allowing me to do what I do. And, the original GardenStateHSWrestling.com, others may try to duplicate, but I'm the originator. So, thank you for allowing me to show you guys what I can do and how I can do it, and just show the love that I have for Morris County sports. But one thing that happened before the tournament, and I kind of was really happy to be there to see, was the Hall of Fame inductions for two guys who, for different reasons, I held a lot of respect for. The first was Ryan Harrington, who's a coach at Del Barton, but he got inducted for his time at Mendham. 2-time state champion. I'm going to give you probably the most impressive stat I've ever heard when it comes to covering wrestling. In his junior and senior year, Ryan Harrington did not give up an offensive point to his opponents. Now, let me explain what that means. Ryan was not taken down. Ryan did not give up a point as a result of offense from his opponent. Ryan gave up points when he took you down and let you up. He didn't allow it for 2 years. In the state tournament, everything, 2 years, he did not give up that. That is insane. That is insane. And, he was, winning his titles when I first started. So I got to cover him, and it kind of put me on the map. And over the years, I've got to become friendly with him and his family. His father loves what we do, sponsors us with the Harrington companies. I consider them friends. So it was really cool to see Ryan get inducted to the Hall of Fame, a Mendham legend who's making a name for himself with his wrestling now and coaching. So really, really impressive. I heard they might not bring back the Ryan's Hawaiians for the States. I have that trademark, but if you know, you know. And then another one was a guy who really kind of gave a young, not so young, I was, old, but I was like, late 20s, but a new reporter trying to get his, foot in the door on his own. And that's Randolph coach Mike Sook, the former coach, current assistant. To see him get inducted, he's one of my favorite coaches. I'll be honest. He's one of the nicest guys to talk to. And funny story about him. I'll tell 2 quick stories about him, and then we'll wrap everything up and do what we need to do. First one was when I was down working for the Star Ledgers before my site. I was down there and I was talking to a couple reporters. And at the time, his son wrestled at Randolph. And his son had lost in I want to say first or second round. It was early in the tournament. And he lost to James Grogan. He had beaten James Grogan in the county finals, but James Grogan had, I'm sorry, Bobby Grogan. He had, from Del Barton. Bobby took the eventual state champion from Southern, Glenn Carson, who wound up playing in the NFL. He was on the Arizona Cardinals for a few years. Took him to tiebreaker before he literally collapsed on the mat because he blew out all his ligaments. Anyway, the match is over. They're helping him out. And I get a text message from him that says, the best criteria is head to head. So he was pitching for his son to be higher up on the county team, which I thought was funny at the moment. And then the other time was I'm at home on my, I wasn't married. I was at home at Christmas, just hanging out at the house. I get a call from him, and he starts talking to me about wrestling on Christmas Day. That shows you the love he has of the sport, and he showed it there. And I'm really proud to know him, call him my friend. He's a big supporter of what I do. He's not afraid to keep me in line if I step out for anything he says, but I value his opinion, and I respect the fact that I can call him a friend. So listen, congratulations, Coach, and congratulations, Ryan. I was really happy I was able to be there and be a part of that. Now, if you want to follow what we're doing this week, follow us on social media. On Facebook at GardenStateHSWrestling.com, on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it this week, at GardenStateHSW, on Instagram, Garden State HS Wrestling. And if you want, I don't know how you're watching us, but go to YouTube, like and subscribe. You'll get notified when we have a podcast. You'll get notified when we have a live stream and all the updates. You'll get notified wherever we're going and all the little content we do. So like and subscribe there. And if you own a local business and you're looking to do something fun and you want to help sponsor, the podcast, you want to help sponsor a live stream or a team page, click on the Your Logo ad on a team page, fill out the form, goes directly to me, or you can email me at admin@GardenStateHSWrestling.com. I respond within 24 hours. We're not expensive. We're very cost effective, and we get you to the people you want to see. Let us make you the star of the show. Don't listen to a goof. We deliver the proof. GardenStateHSWrestling.com is the premier high school wrestling provider of coverage in all of New Jersey. We broadcast the most matches. Nobody comes close to what we do. So why work with the rest when you can deal with the best? GardenStateHSWrestling.com is where you want to be. And as I said before, thank you guys so much for the support. Record numbers for some of our views. I know the Phillipsburg versus Del Val match was over 1,000 viewers at one time. So it was really cool for us to have, so many people tuned into such a big match. And, also everybody who watched the Essex County tournament, we love doing that. And I just love doing wrestling. I mean, I'm a wrestling guy. So thank you for the support. Thank you for, like I said it earlier and not to harp on it again. Everybody who said hello to me and said they loved my work, random people yelling at my name, Brower, we love your stuff. Thank you. It means a lot. So for my crew that helped me this week, thank you. But to wrap it up, we got a big week ahead of us. We're getting ready for the crunch run. It's now we've come around the third turn, and I can see the finish line as we're racing home to the home stretch in Atlantic City and all the stuff we got coming up. But for Jared, the podcasting legend, I'm Donald J. Brower. We'll see you Matt side.